Dave, I have had the chance, being a customer of yours, I had the chance to interact with it in one of these events that you prepare to do with your customers. And I've seen the way the interaction is obtained, and I've seen people, 28 to 10 people in a room, being able to put their ideas forward and be able to design them. Do you think that in the BizThink event, something like this flavor is going to go through it?
Yeah, I think, I mean, if we can get the right people to attend the event, and I believe that we can, one of the things that is somewhat of a challenge is that the kind of people who really need to be attending something like BizThink, the kind of people who need to be working on this stuff, are people who may say to themselves, I can't draw, I'm not an artist. And I've been in the room with you, and you probably, maybe before we met, you might have said the same.
Exactly, I did.
And I think you might say something different. Would you say anything different now?
Completely.
Yeah, and I think the gap comes when we're probably somewhere between 5 and 10 years old. When because I've never met a 5-year-old who didn't know how to draw. Every 5-year-old can draw, and they will demonstrate it at any opportunity. And the difference there is when a 5-year-old is drawing, they're drawing not to try and make something that looks exactly like what they see with the eyes or what you see in a photograph or in a movie, but they're drawing to explore their environment. They're trying to explore the world and also to communicate ideas, convey information. At some point, maybe we learn that art is something that's a specialist field. It's something that not everyone can or should do. We learn that art is about making things look realistic. And I think that's a mistake. I'm not saying that that's not a valid pursuit for many people, but I think what I'm trying to convey to the world is that art or drawing is a way of communicating. It's a way of conveying ideas. It's a language. It's a visual language. In fact, it's the only one of the only languages aside from mathematics that's globally consistent. You can draw. I can go, and you can go anywhere in the world, and you can draw a picture of a hand or of an eye or of a bottle of beer, if that's what you want, and you can show it to someone and you can communicate exactly what you want. You don't have to speak their language. And I think what's happening in business, and I talked a little bit about it before, is that we are becoming so specialized and we're becoming so segmented and compartmentalized because the world is full of information. There's so much information to digest and to work with that we have to become specialists. We develop our own language. We work, at my company Explain, we work for many international companies, and I can guarantee you that every single multinational company has its own language. In addition to the multiple languages that the people in the company speak, there's a plethora of acronyms and jargon and specialized words that only exist in that company. There's multiple communication challenges when you live in a world like that. You have to communicate not just within your company. You have to communicate with your suppliers, with your partners. You have to communicate with your customers. You can't use your specialized jargon when you're talking to a customer, maybe a customer who's 12 years old. You have to communicate in a very simple, clear, easy way. And in some ways, the CEO of a multinational company, in order to have a conversation with a customer who might be 15, has to have it may be as hard as me or you trying to order a beer in China. There may be that much of a language gulf. Pictures and visual communication offer any person or any group the ability to connect with any other group in a very rich and meaningful way, in a way that words can never do.
There's one thing that has surprised me on the BizThink website. I mean, I've seen the list of the people that should attend, and it's very wide. I mean, there is very broad. I mean, there is a lot of people, specialities that could. I mean, from marketing, strategy, management that can attend. Yes. And one of the things that I found so surprising is that when I talk to people about Explain, they tend to that it's something for the marketing department.
Mm.
And talking to you, I know that you're doing a lot of strategic work with CEOs of large corporations.
Yes.
Why is that so difficult to make people understand that this is not something that has to do only with the marketing department, but it has to do with the whole company?
It's interesting because I think, well, communication typically is not taught in business schools, which I don't understand, because communication, I think you could argue that communication, I do argue all the time that communication is the most important business skill. Every successful CEO, every successful salesperson, every successful entrepreneur knows that the higher you go in any organization, the more of your job becomes communicating, becomes creating clarity within the organization. I think it's a mistake to think you can outsource communications to a department within a company. I think communication has to be embedded into the DNA of your company for you to be successful. If you look at the world's most successful companies, they tend to be good communicators. For example, Dell. Everyone understands Dell's business strategy. It's not a secret. It's a very clear strategy. You could explain it to a 10-year-old. When your strategy is that clear, it doesn't need to be secret, because the level of clarity and alignment you have within your company is so great that it's overpowering to any other competitor. Walmart, another example, one of the world's largest companies. Their strategy is obvious. It's very clear. There's no doubt or question about what their strategy is. But everyone, not only everyone in Walmart, but everyone in the world understands what their strategy is. It's the clarity, not the secrecy of your strategy, that drives success. And I think many people make a mistake in thinking that clarity is the job of the marketing department. The marketing department can only communicate successfully what you were able to articulate internally successfully. If you can't articulate it internally, and many marketing departments struggle with this, they're putting in English we say lipstick on a pig. Still a pig.
It doesn't help.
Yeah.
Okay, David, thank you very much for your visit to Baquia Televisión. It has been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.